Welcome back to Jersey Matters. The high school students who survived a mass shooting in Parkland, Florida, are not giving up their fight. They came to New Jersey looking for support, and they got some from Senator Booker, from Governor Murphy, but most importantly, from other high school students. Our Sherry Karabin reports. Sherry.
Thanks, Larry. There's always more that can be done to help keep students and teachers safe from gun violence. That's the message that those who turned out at this Picnic for Our Lives in Morristown are trying to drive home to lawmakers in the Garden State and across the country. And they're vowing to take their campaign for tougher gun laws to the polls this November.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
A call to action at this Picnic for Our Lives at Lidgerwood Park in Morristown. The gathering is part of a campaign to end gun violence started by student survivors of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. The February 14th incident in Parkland, Florida, left more than a dozen dead and many others injured. The activism that followed gave birth to the March for Our Lives movement, which seeks to enact tougher gun laws. Some Parkland students are taking their messages on the road this summer, participating in the National Road to Change March for Our Lives tour. On August 9th, the bus stopped in Morristown, where students joined forces with New Jersey March for Our Lives members and other activists at this festive picnic designed to keep gun control discussions alive.
We're gathered here today for one main reason, and that is gun violence prevention. Every single day, at least 96 people in America are killed by a firearm.
After a 96-second pause to honor gun violence victims, the crowd heard from members of the Road to Change tour, including one Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School alumni who had two younger siblings in the school when former student Nicholas Cruz allegedly went on a shooting rampage. Luckily, they were not hurt.
The most important thing to take away from the work that we're doing is that gun violence goes way beyond Parkland. And the activism goes way beyond the students that stood up there. And on this road to change, we've met so many incredible national leaders that are going to pave the way for a future where children do not have to fear a bullet.
This Parkland student lost 4 friends in the shooting.
I'm going to continue with my efforts with March for Our Lives because this is an ongoing process. This isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. It's going to take years to get common sense gun legislation, but until we come to the day where I don't have to be scared to sit at my desk at school, I won't stop fighting.
Governor Phil Murphy and his wife Tammy stopped by the picnic, praising the young activists for their commitment to end gun violence. The governor touted New Jersey's tough gun laws and reminded the crowd there's still a long road ahead.
We cannot relent on getting national gun safety legislation. We cannot relent. Congress has been, the will of Congress has been separated from the will of people across both aisles. This is not just a Democratic thing. Both aisles have been separated from the will of the people by the NRA, and it's up to us to push back against those gun lobbies.
U.S. Senator Cory Booker also paid a visit, taking a moment to greet students and supporters. He says advocates are on the right side of the fight.
Most Americans, heck, 84% of NRA members believe that we need common sense laws like universal background checks. And so when the people in power are not aligned with the people, we've got to show them the truth of a democracy, that the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
Scott L. Bach, executive director of the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs, who did not attend, says he isn't sure why the tour stopped in the Garden State. He says, quote, New Jersey already has the toughest gun laws in the nation and recently added 6 new laws on top of that. So I have to question why New Jersey was chosen as the venue for this event. We need to severely punish the criminal misuse of firearms, not pass more laws that limit the right of law-abiding citizens to defend themselves. But activists disagree.
Students here need to stand up for students all over the country. We need to advocate for legislation on a federal level. We have so much work to do, and even in New Jersey, we can't stop here. We have to help out our brothers and sisters all across the country. This is not a state issue, this is a national issue.
While the anti-violence and gun control messages took center stage, when the speeches were over, advocates spent time registering voters and urging everyone to get to the polls in November so they can support candidates willing to make a change.
You can register as many people as possible, especially young people, who are the least likely to vote. But if they're not actually going out to the polls and voting and letting their voice be heard, then all of this registration, all this hype means nothing. So we want people to know that their voice matters, to increase political efficacy, and to contribute to the largest mobilization of youth voters in this country's history. That's the end goal.
In the meantime, members of the March for Our Lives movement are vowing to fight on. In Morristown, this is Sherry Karabin reporting for Jersey Matters.